You know what the great thing about music is? That nothing ever really dies, right? Because like when I was a kid, I didn't want to be in school, probably like a lot of us. And my math teacher was pretty hip dude. I didn't know it at the time, but he could tell that me and my friends were just, jerking around and goofing off, and we didn't want to be there. So one day he brought in Buddy Holly's greatest hits. Now, this was decades after Buddy Holly died. And believe it or not, I had never heard Buddy Holly. I was in the throes of what we now know as classic rock, Zeppelin, the Stones, the Who. So when he put on that record, we literally looked at each other. We were like, what is this? It was like punk rock, it was like, what? And it was amazing. And it inspired me thenceforth is that a word? Thenceforth, I am moving to England to be a musician. Really, truly that experience. And I've told my math teacher, he's still alive, Mr. LD. And I was hooked. I was hooked from that moment on. That's when I started a band. I was into music, but that's when I started a band. So flash forward to today. I wrote a song with a tremendous, amazing, magnificent singer-songwriter from Norway named Ida Jensjus. Now, Ida, some of you may have checked out Ida's stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievably gorgeous, as is she, inside and out. And so she was over here one day and we wrote this song. Well, she had started the song with somebody else, but she wasn't happy with it. So we brought it to where she liked it. And I liked it a lot. I thought, oh my God, this is an amazing song. I'm very, very proud of it. But it didn't get released for 10 bloody years. Now, part of that was because the guy she started it with was offended and didn't like that we tweaked it. But, she had already won 2 Grammys by that point. And this is a lesson for all of you. Just zip it. Get the record out. Who cares? You still get a third of the record. But I digress. And so she just, I think I've talked to her about this, that there was some internal thing where she was bitter about that. So she didn't release it. And album after album, because she puts out an album every, 18 months. So there's 4 or 5 albums since we wrote that song, at least, if not a couple more. And I kept listening for the song, kept waiting to see the song. And I'm like, Ida, this song is amazing. I'm being honest, it's better than some of the songs on these records, not just because I wrote it. And she's like, yeah, I know, but, Anyway, 10 years later, this year, 2024, it finally came out. And it's as gorgeous as I thought it was. And, I was humming it around the house and my wife's like, what's that? What's that? And I'm like, that's a song I wrote with Ida. She's like, oh, that's an amazing song. And she's not a musician. So point being is the best part about music is it never dies. So Buddy Holly can influence you 20, 30, 50, 60 years after he's passed, and a song you wrote 10 years ago can finally be released and be on an album that's doing really, really well. So do not discourage. Music never dies.